Israel's intelligence agency, the Shin Bet, says it's foiled a plot by Hamas to carry out a bombing attack in Jerusalem, uncovering a 3-kilogram explosive device the organisation intended to use. Now, it's understood the Hamas members were part of a cell stationed in Hebron and were directed to plan attacks against both Israeli and Palestinian Authority targets. The Shin Bet arrested university student Tamer Rajbi back in June, with him handing over the bomb, with authorities then finding out that he was recruited by Hamas as an explosives technician. And for more on this story, let's bring in our defence correspondent Daniel Tsemach. Daniel, thanks so much for joining me. Firstly, what more can you tell us about this foiled attack?
Well, Sarah, it's been revealed just today about a thwarted attack that was thwarted months ago in a joint operation by the Israeli Internal Security Agency, the Shin Bet, as well as Israeli combat forces, Israeli combat special forces. And it really took place in what is often interpreted and seen as the hotbed of Hamas in the West Bank, that being the city of Hebron. And numerous times we hear about the Shin Bet thwarting plots attempted to be executed by Hamas, specifically in Hebron. Here we're talking about a group that's called Al-Qutla Al-Islamiyah. It's a group that's really intended to breed, train, and bring about the new generation of Hamas operatives. You mentioned the name of the main suspect. He was a part of that organization, and he's really seen as the potential bomb maker for Hamas to carry out attacks in the West Bank, not only necessarily against Israeli targets, but also against targets of the Palestinian Authority. Important to remind here that Hamas and the Palestinian Authority can oftentimes be viewed as rivals, specifically in the West Bank, but definitely a very big reveal by the Internal Security Agency of a plot that was intended to be carried out this summer in the city of Jerusalem, something that we understand was close to execution, given the fact that, as you mentioned, Sarah, he did have the bomb on his person. That bomb was laden with metal parts to sort of increase damage when it would ultimately be exploded.
Certainly very concerning, Daniel, and this is just one cell. Tell me, how worried is Israel and the Shin Bet security service that there may be other people out there that they don't have any leads on?
Well, whether or not they don't have leads, that we can't really say for sure. What we can say is that this is not the first case we're hearing being revealed, even in recent months, by the Internal Security Agency, of Hamas specifically trying to establish a foothold and a stronghold even in the West Bank, not only in Hebron, but elsewhere as well. And we also understand that in this particular case, as well as in past cases, they're using internet and social media in order to communicate with potential recruits and using a younger generation. Now, this is definitely a point of concern when we're talking about the fact that this main suspect was indeed a student at a university in Hebron, and he is not the only example of that either. We understand from the most recent case that he was trying to recruit other students as well. So definitely a worrying situation for the Internal Security Agency, but it does seem as though Israel likes to pride itself on being on top of these attempts, but not necessarily underestimating their abilities.